Bart Jackson with American Family Insurance in Faribault, Minnesota, and today we're at the Rice County Recycling Center. And today we have Paul with us. We're going to talk a little bit about recycling. There's a lot of things that probably a lot of us don't realize, that when we put it into our recycling bin and we send it off, that maybe it's not actually not getting recycled. So let's find out a little few things. So Paul, thanks again for having us out here today.
Thank you for coming down.
Well, let me just start off with a question with like these plastic bottles. One of the things I had heard before was to have these bottles recycled, we need to remove our caps from the bottles. And is that what we want to do here in Rice County?
No, we'll no longer want to leave the caps on, and because what happens is the loose caps become a contaminant within the recycling stream. So when the cap's left on, it gets mixed in with other small things and kind of mixes in with other items and gets contaminated with them.
Okay, is that the same thing with like a Gatorade bottle?
Correct. Any type of like lid you want to leave on the container. Glass jars, just make sure you take that can come off. You know, the metal part can come off the glass jars, but you know, because the steel will be picked up. But the small caps and stuff, just leave on. And that includes milk jugs and big water jugs too.
Oh, wonderful. Well, how about big water jugs or milk jugs? Should we crush them or leave them just large?
Whichever is easier for you. If you want to make more room, you can crush them down, just put the cap back on. A lot of times they'll stay closed up. Just whichever is more convenient for you.
Oh, wonderful. And I noticed that a lot of times now when I pick up a plastic bag, maybe from the grocery store, maybe a frozen item, that a lot of those bags aren't recyclable anymore. Do those cause any problems for you here?
Well, the bags actually are recyclable. You know, your type of grocery type bags are recyclable. We can't have them in the single stream mix.
Okay.
What happens is the machinery that takes to separate the recycling out, it gets caught in the machinery, and so they have to shut down the whole plant to cut these items off the different belts and the different machinery that makes all this 300-400 tons of material a day that they're processing and out. The bags end up getting kind of caught up. If you bring them back to the stores, most grocery stores have a collection for bags. That's the best way to recycle those. They can be recycled, but bring them back to the stores.
Well, that's wonderful to hear that we can take them back to the stores and they'll get recycled appropriately.
Correct.
Well, what's some of the other items that we would be doing to our recycling that you see mostly that I could do at my house to make it easier for the recycling here?
Well, the big thing is to recycle the type of material that we want to get, and that's going to be your we call it consumer packaging. And I have kind of right in front of here, we basically could, in your single sort recycling, we can take everything. You got your metal cans, your aluminum and tin or steel cans, glass bottles and jars. You can take cardboard, your mixed paper, like your magazines, newspaper, your junk mail, and other type of office type of paper. What we call box board, so that's like your cereal boxes, those types of boxes we can take.
This stuff right here?
This is actually cardboard.
Oh, just cardboard. Okay.
Cardboard. Your box board is like like here, the cereal box. The small boxes like your boxes, plastic ones, those type of boxes. They can be taken. We take 1 through 7s, but the big thing with 1 through 7s, really what can be really recycled is 1s and 2s. The rest of them, that's becoming a very smaller part of the recycling stream, but it's a real problem now. The basically 3 through 7s there's not really markets for it. And so it depends on the price of the plastic. Sometimes they can get it sold, sometimes it ends up going off as residual. The big thing, if you're looking at buying things, or get stuff, look for the 1s and 2s type of plastics.
But so that's where we would look down here on the bottom, and we'd see that triangle with the arrows, and look for the number.
Yeah.
So
and most of your consumer packaging now in plastic is 1s and 2s, and a little bit of 3s. And there's somewhat of a market for 3. The big thing in plastic we do not want is your styrofoam or polystyrene, because that is not recyclable. That needs to go in the garbage.
No polystyrene.
No polystyrene. Then we also have what we call our aseptic packages. That's like your, your cardboard or the boxes, the juice boxes. Those can also be recycled.
So with these, does it matter if there's any material left in them, or do you really want them cleaned out?
Make sure they're empty. I mean, you don't need to wash them out. It's that's nice if you do, but it's not necessary. Just make sure they're empty.
Oh, wonderful.
The big thing and problems we have is just the other contaminants. What we call wish recycling. I have the child seat that they can't use. We have plastic. I have a plastic hose. Terrible. Those are what do they call it? Those are danglers. So they get caught in the machinery and then it gets messed up, and then they have to cut them off. I mean, it's just basically what we want is what we call consumer packaging. These items. If we can keep the other contaminants out. No auto parts. No. I guess plastic is probably our biggest problem. Is the plastic, because anything made of plastic, toys, parts of TVs, those type of things we don't want in the mixed recycling. There might be a place for the recycling of it, but not in your nice blue bins with yellow tops. Just these type of items.
Well, how about things like wood or other cellulose material?
The cellulose, like wood and those type items, they can be brought out here to the Rice County Landfill Recycling Center. We have an area for brush, and then like we call it kind of clean wood, and that'll be chipped up and used as wood chips. And we have also here at the recycling center, we have a public drop off for recycling, but we also take other items. Like we'll take your holiday lights and have them recycled. You can take your used clean clothing. You can take your car batteries. And we do electronics, appliances, and tires, but there's a fee associated with those items. And also from now we also take mattresses. Mattresses, they need to be recycled, and there's a fee attached to the mattresses.
So we can't put our clothes in the recycling bin. I did not realize that.
Just these items.
So when we're done with the rubber hose, we can bring it here to
do the garbage.
Okay, and we can bring our clothes and make a nice big trip of it.
That, or just put it like if you got those other items like your old hoses, old toys, those type of things. They can go in the garbage, or you could contact the Goodwill or some other place that might accept them as donations, and they could be reused. The big thing we always talk about, you probably remember hearing the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycling. At Rice County, we also throw a 4th R in there, and that's rethink. Rethink what you're doing. Rethink of what you're buying. Is this recyclable? Is it going to last long? But the first R is always the most important: is reduce. Reduce the amount of materials and stuff that we're creating.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you, Paul. And I did not realize, I've never been here to this facility, how many things we can bring out here. Not just recycling, but things that are trash. So we as public can bring it out here. Some things will have a charge to them, some won't. But there's a nice array, and we'll put a photo of it as well on the video. So again, thank you to Paul and our recycling center here. Rice County does a great job of taking care of us, and I just want to say thank you again to all the hard work that all you guys do.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down.
And thank you. If anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call at 507-332-6812 or call the recycling center here in Rice County. Thank you.